What's happening, guys? Welcome back to another Q&A with me and Guy. And first of all, I just want to say happy birthday, my bro. Happy birthday.
Thanks, man.
I love you.
Thank you. Can you believe it? 23.
I know.
Who would have thought?
I would have thought you were 18. So happy birthday to Guy. Drop a comment, guys. Happy birthday to Guy. Today on the Q&As, we've got some questions more trading related, and that's what I do. And then we've also got some more kind of fundamental sides for Guy as well. So we've got the first question is, how do you like the new Trezor?
Is that Trezor asking that?
I don't know, maybe. Yeah, it's actually.
No, it is Trezor.
I like how you knew that.
The new Trezor, yeah. So this is the Safe 3 device, which is it's great because it's kind of got the it's kind of midway between their sort of basic model, the Model 1, and then their Model T, which is their sort of more advanced one. This is kind of somewhere in the middle. It's kind of best of both worlds. We got to play with it out in Amsterdam before just before they released it. Yeah.
That's cool.
And it seems great. Like Trezors are great. They're really easy to use. The software that you use to interact with them is great. The devices are great. So yeah, I'm a big fan.
He's a big fan, guys. That's the first one, Trezor. So we've got a question here. It says, any advice on trade journaling? So I'm assuming that's like me. So with trade journaling, well,
if you ask me, I haven't got a clue. So, yeah.
So with trade journaling is actually super important. Every successful trader I know, hedge fund, private equity in the millions, even up to the billions, every single person journals, because when it comes to trading, ultimately it's just down to yourself because it's money, right? And everyone has an emotion to money. So 1,000 might not make you tick, but 100,000 might make you tick. Or even 1,000,000. When you see 1,000,000 go up and down, you could lose 1,000,000 or make 1,000,000. It definitely affects your emotions. So journaling is really important to understand yourself, keep refining it and keep working on it to be the best trader you can be. And then there will be a certain cap where you have to find a psychologist and a therapist. I know that sounds a bit scary. I know it sounds scary, but that is the truth, because a lot of me and my peers in that level, you have to find therapy and psychologists, because it's understanding a lot more about you and your individual. Because the way I like to describe it is, if you become a better human, you become a better trader. So, but yeah, that's a very important advice on trade journaling. Trading,
not for the faint-hearted.
No, it's tough. It's a long journey. Yeah. It's a long journey. I wouldn't recommend it, but it is something that I think if you truly believe you can do, you can do. You just have to really, really take it serious. So we've got an interesting question here. It says, why are you so cute?
I don't know.
Why are you so cute? It's because it's your birthday.
It's my diet.
It's my diet.
Are you sure they're asking me, why are you so cute?
Because I'm sitting next to you. So
the real tough questions.
Yeah, real tough questions.
Yeah.
Is it a good time to buy BTC or Ethereum now, or shall we wait before a dip before 2024 halvening? I don't know, it's a really, really interesting question. I want to answer that first, but I generally think that Bitcoin halvening is simply put supply and demand, right? As you're halvening, so you're halving the supply, so then the demand would increase. Now, really and truly, from an investing and a trading point of view, is you can never time the market. No one knows the future. No one knows if it's going to go to 100K, 5K. No one knows. You can have the right analysis and fundamentals, but no one knows. So I think what you want to ask yourself now is more of an objective question. If I buy now and I leave my money in there, is that going to affect you? That's more important, because if you don't care about it and it grows, great. If it loses, whatever. But if you buy and it does affect you, like for example, it's your lunch money or something like that, then probably you shouldn't. But no one knows where the price is going to go. I know anyone can forecast or whatever, and I do believe that it's going to be increasing because of the supply and demand, but macroeconomics really, really plays a big part in it as well. But we won't rabbit hole in this Q&A. What do you think?
Well, I think a lot of it depends on personal circumstance. So if you have liquidity and you're looking to, you want to start stacking, then I guess kind of now is as good a time as any, because I think we all believe that Bitcoin is going to go up in the long term. And I think many people, certainly in the past, when Bitcoin saw some of those massive price spikes, would have gone, wow, anything under 30K is a great opportunity to accumulate. So if your personal circumstances allow for it, if you have that liquidity, if you have that money on hand, then I think now could be as good a time as any to start stacking.
Because going on that as well, just to kind of flip that, I do think accumulating right now is also still great, because back in 2017 or 2018, without looking at the chart, 3K, 7K, we were looking, okay, could this retest 20K? That's what I was thinking back then.
Yeah.
And then now 20K is the support. As in, like, that's where fear is at.
Yeah.
But back then, that's where greed is at.
Yeah.
And then if we look into the future again, well, in the past again, it was 60, 70K. That's where the greed was at. So we still are at a very fear level. And one of the things we even made a video on is, why does everyone buy in greed and sell in fear? So you're buying high but selling low. That's the opposite of trading and making money.
Even I know that.
Yeah, come on, guys. You should be buying low, selling high, and buying back low. And that's how you can do it. So, you know, I still do think it's a good time, and like DCA is also a great question.
Yeah.
But following that, there's actually a great question here. So if you were to dollar cost average between just BTC and ETH, what percentage would you split? I would say, really and truly, it depends on how much you believe in each, right? Now, a lot of people say, you know, ETH 2.0, you've obviously had ETC, you have so many different things with ETH. Bitcoin is Bitcoin. For me, I feel like Bitcoin is a staple. I feel like Bitcoin is what branding crypto is. I feel like when you say crypto, people think Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the one that transactional a lot of people still use. It's the largest market cap. And I think that for me, I would put a more higher percentage into Bitcoin as opposed to ETH. Now, it's not financial advice, but it's just what I'm doing. And if I had to split it, I'd probably go 70-30, maybe even as far as 80-20, purely because until the bull run comes, I wouldn't take anything out of BTC because I'd use that as more the fiat of the crypto, even if that makes sense, if you know what I mean, right? Like that's the base Bitcoin to use, and then use that to buy other altcoins when time kind of arises. But if you were to dollar cost average, if you had to split between Bitcoin and Ethereum, and be interested to know which one do you believe in more in terms of ROI or projects or...
Well, I believe in both in terms of, you know, in terms of fundamentals and ROI. I guess at this point in time, I would look to allocate more towards BTC. However, that has been slightly complicated by the fact that over the last couple of weeks or so, ETH has really started to struggle. Obviously, it's now inflationary because network activity is right down, fees are right down, etc. So you could argue that this perhaps represents, a good point to get in on ETH. However, I do think that it could continue to bleed against BTC for the next few weeks. So at this point in time, I would be allocating probably more heavily towards Bitcoin.
Yeah. And I think that's the big thing as well. Like you can see here, we both have different points of view. It's more about accumulating all the information and doing your own research and then making that decision for yourself, because at the end of the day, it's your money and your accountability and not financial advice. So do you know a trading floor in Dubai, please? Yes, I do. It's not crypto trading floors, but we have, there's Blackline trading floor, which is coming through, but none of these are public, so don't just rock up. And then we are launching a trading floor as well. There's quite a few trading floors in general, but then even on the prop space, you've got plenty of hedge funds and other trading floors coming in Dubai. So there's quite a few out there. Do you know of any?
I do not know of any trading floors in Dubai.
Until I open mine, then you'll know mine.
And then I'm waiting for Champ to open his.
Sorry to interrupt you folks, but I have to let you know about the Coin Bureau deals page. My team and I have been able to pull together some of the best promos and discounts in the whole crypto space. We're talking trading fee discounts of over 50%, thousands of dollars in bonus airdrops, amazing deals at top exchanges, reduced prices on hardware wallets, and much, much more besides. So just go to coinbureau.com/deals, also linked to below, and find the promo suited to you. Enjoy the rest of the video.
What's your Bitcoin price prediction for 2030?
2030. 2030 is that date when like all these kind of things like UN Sustainable Development Goals are due to be complete. I don't imagine they will be. But yeah, it does seem to be the sort of date that's looming large in everyone's minds. I am tempted to think that Bitcoin by that point will be in six figures. Now, I know that gives us a lot of scope from 100K right up to 999,999K. But I think by that point I think we could see it, perhaps even, around the $250,000 mark. But, that's there's so many things to factor in there.
Agreed.
However, 2030 is definitely sort of my long-term horizon, and I think it'll have seen some definite.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, because
by then.
I think a minimum 100K. And the reason I think of that is because you've got halving, you've got supply demand, you've got countries using Bitcoin, you've got transactions going through it, and if you barring macroeconomics into it, which I was talking about earlier, you've got business like cycles, interest rates and everything, and properties and everything is high, right? You've had recessions, and you're supposed to be having them recessions and depressions at the moment, but then business cycles will come back into where everyone's borrowing money, debt is easy again. And that's why we had the bull run in the first place, because debt was easy and people were getting money they didn't have and just throwing it into the markets, making money really quick, but then not keeping money, so which is a different discussion. But the point is, the cycle will come back again sooner or later. We've seen it time and time again. Prime example, if we bring it into fundamentals again, the S&P has been proven for hundreds of years. It dipped in 2008, it dipped again in COVID, and if you bought all of those times, it's the same thing. Now we've transitioned that into crypto. Crypto has done exactly the same thing. There's cycles. It's dipped 20K, dipped 60K, 60, 70K, dipped 100K, 200K, no one knows. But we both believe six figures, because 70 is already tested. It's only up from there, really, truly, right?
Maybe six figures will be very conservative by that point. Who knows? But yeah, that's why.
That's crazy, because then the funny thing is, we make this video now and we'll look back and laugh, but you know, people used to think 70K was crazy, but then now it's the high. People even think retesting 20K is a joke, but now 20K people are scared to buy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
but 20K is where we wanted it to go at one point in life, in a period of time.
Yeah, 20K was...
it was a dream, guys.
I chatted to someone yesterday who's been in crypto since 2010, and he said, like, you know, so really early to Bitcoin, like mining it on a CPU, and he said, yeah, I remember we had a bit of a party when it got to 25 cents.
Wow.
So,
wow.
You know.
Yeah, I remember a lot of people posting them, like, when who's that guy? I don't know if you know. There's a guy who has that video where you just see Bitcoin hitting $1 and then they're all celebrating. It's like $1, like whoa. Yeah. Back then, right?
Perspective is key.
Yeah.
What have we got next, question-wise?
Let's have a little look. Did you go to a coffee shop in Amsterdam?
I did not go to a coffee shop in Amsterdam. No, I wasn't there for very long. We only had 2 full days there, and if you're talking about that sort of coffee shop, that's really not my scene anyway. I would have probably whiteyed out about 2 minutes after walking in.
I think me too. To be fair. You look pumped in your meme photo. Are you gymming?
I am gymming. I converted our other bed. We've got a 2-bedroom villa, and I've converted the other one into a gym.
Yeah.
And I go there religiously once a week.
Nice. Well, you're still looking good. Well, that's enough.
No, I go there. I try and go there every day. You're looking. Have you been working out?
Yeah, just once a year, once a year here.
Once a month.
Yeah, once a month. And keep this. I work out. Man, it's not as much as people think. I work out like 3-4 times. Actually, now it's 5 times a week again. Yeah,
you put in the work.
It's quite a lot.
You put in the work. I go there and sort of lift some weights for about 5 minutes and then go, this is boring.
But you have kept shape though. Like after a while, you've definitely kept shape. So health is wealth. So look after your health.
Health is wealth.
Then you're looking fine and healthy.
Marco de Fonseca asks, could in the future people be forced to sell or get rid of their BTC, similar to what happened to gold? So this is back in the 1930s.
I don't know
when,
what date.
Roosevelt made it illegal for Americans to hold gold. I think that's
right?
what. Yeah.
Yeah.
So could that be done with Bitcoin?
I don't really think so. I mean, I don't know what your POV is, but at the end of the day, how do they know what wallet is attached to you? How do you know what hard wallet is attached to you? How do you know how much crypto is held to you? I mean, the fun fact is, I'm not trying to call people out, but like in countries where crypto is banned, quote unquote, plenty of them have crypto. Yeah. And they VPN it or do whatever they do just to hold it. And it's, for me, as an investment, it's a store of wealth. So gold bars are a little bit different because they were transactional, at one point. But crypto, you can send that, pay for that, and no one really knows who it's coming from to some degree, which is the whole point of it, to be decentralized. That's the fundamental of crypto for myself, anyway. Yeah. But what about you? Do you think so as well?
Well, I think one of the great advantages that Bitcoin, digital gold, if you want to follow that narrative, has over physical gold is that it's it's so much easier to store and carry across borders. You only have to store the private keys. So you literally, a device that big and you can take it anywhere. Whereas gold bars, gold bullion is it's harder to move around with it, and it's much harder to keep it from people who might come
Just try to smuggle like 100k of gold bars.
Yeah, but it's an interesting point because I know that a lot of people who hold gold will hold it with a custodian, so they'll hold it with a bank or they'll hold it with in a private vault or whatever it is. But when you do that, you don't have full control over that asset. So you're at the mercy of the bank or the vault. So they can be leaned on by the authorities. Don't let Mr. Champ have his gold when he tries to come and pick it up. And that's a real problem. Whereas Bitcoin, if you self-custody it, then you control it. And that, as I keep banging on about, is what financial freedom is really about. You having control over your assets and being able to spend them how and when you want. So,
Actually speaking my language there, freedom is key, because freedom is doing what you want, when you want, with who you want, how you want. And now you're tying it in with financial freedom. Is with money, with that. And I love that. That's really, really good.
Yeah. So I guess authorities could perhaps try to seize your Bitcoin from you. I guess if they manage to get you and your hardware wallet in the same room together and sort of force you to hand over your private keys, then you might be stuck. But that's why it's so important to take self-custody seriously. A hardware wallet is much easier to keep away from prying eyes.
As opposed to massive gold bars. A lot more easier to find.
Yeah. So 19 Dario 86 asks, BTC price action over approximately the last 10 months is very similar to gold.
Yes.
Is this a good sign?
It actually isn't as similar as you would as it would seem, and the reason being is because gold is moving a lot more direct correlation to the rest of the market news, so DXY. So if you have gold, it's known as XAU against USD, so simply it's paired against the dollar. You've got Bitcoin, BTC, paired against the dollar. So what I say in retrospective why it's not moving as well is because if there's news with the dollar, Bitcoin is nowhere near as active or moving nowhere near as volatile as it should be, because all the money is potentially going into gold or back into futures, or there's just not that much money in crypto in general. So it's following, but not enough, and I think it's not really a good sign, and I know that's not the best news, and the really factor is because liquidity and volume. If there's no liquidity and volume in trading in crypto, that means, number one, lack of eyes into it, lack of money going into it, and lack of interest as well. So once we start seeing more spikes, more volume, it really following gold and following the dollar news and having more impacts on that, that means traders, banks, they are now actively trading Bitcoin way more against the dollar, then that will be a good sign. But for now, it's not good enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
So kind of following on from that a little bit, Zen57 asks, the market pumped after the false news of the BlackRock ETF approval. Can it continue?
It's hard with that because that's not big enough news in my opinion, because it's false news with them. And you've got Gary, your boy Gary.
My boy Gary.
Everything with them, because he's going on trial soon, no?
What?
Because he's been delaying the ETS for so long.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that would be more of a significant news than just BlackRock in and of itself. And I think everyone's waiting to see what the US is doing. I think to some degree, everyone's waiting to see what the US is doing as an overall. I think that's more important to keep your eyes on, because yet again, if you focus on what the dollar does, then Bitcoin will move in suit. BlackRock, yes, it can have a bit of an effect, but I don't think it will have enough of an effect for it to continue. It's just a momentarily thing, like Elon, he's bought something momentarily.
Yeah.
It's just exactly the same thing because it's just hype.
Yeah. It was really interesting to see though, wasn't it? Because, you had this tweet from Cointelegraph. Suddenly, the market picked up on it.
Yeah.
And, we reposted it, which was a bad idea. But, it swept on, and prices suddenly started spiking. And it was fascinating to see that short-term effect, wasn't it? Because we got a taste of what will happen when it is actually true.
Yeah. I love that, because you said short-term taste, and imagine what happens if it really kicks off with the ETFs and is approved, and then people just start to accept it more. And I think the acceptance side of things is people just need to understand it more. So it's up to us guys to share the love.
Yeah.
Ain't that right, guy?
Absolutely. So what is BTC now? Digital gold or digital cash?
Ooh, that's a really good question. digital gold, in my opinion. For me, it's digital gold because it's the store of wealth. Digital cash because it's not enough at the moment to be an online cash system. Like you're not accepted across the world. Dubai, fine, very, very, very crypto friendly. But if you go to UK and all these kind of places, they're still yet to catch up. Hong Kong also, yes, but Hong Kong's had a lot of crypto issues recently, if you guys know about that, which is an absolute terrible scam, so be careful. But yeah, definitely, I think for now, gold. In the future, maybe cash, maybe. We'll see.
Okay.
What about yourself? What do you think?
Definitely digital gold at the moment. I mean, I know lots of people in the Bitcoin ecosystem want this digital cash narrative to take prominence, and that, things like Lightning and stuff are making headway in that direction. I personally think that the digital gold narrative is going to be a very tough one to shift. I think that's what people are buying into. That's what institutions like BlackRock are looking to buy into. So I think it's not complete fantasy to imagine that Bitcoin could still be digital cash. But I just don't think that doesn't seem to me to be the way the wind is blowing right now.
Yeah, but just add on to that as well, like even if it is, I just do think it is digital gold, and I think it will stay that way because at the end of the day, gold is transactional as well. You use gold and there's a value for it in any transaction. Bitcoin is exactly the same as well to some degree, and I think cash will be not maybe USDT or USDC for the foreseeable future, something more stronger and with more backing.
Yeah,
I think that would be more cash, something to replace. I don't know what will come, but something more stable.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
There's a fascinating economic sort of principle, if you like, called Gresham's law, which back in the days when people used physical cash, people would spend the stuff, the less good cash. That's a really clumsy way of putting it. But let's say you had a whole load of, gold and silver coins. They would often get, the silver and gold content would get less and less in those because, I think that was called coin clipping. So the king or, the treasury or whatever would reduce the amount of precious metal in the coins in order to, make their supplies go further. And, that's basically kind of like inflation in a way. But Gresham's law states that people will spend bad money before good money. So if you've got a collection of coins and like some of them you can tell the silver content is really low, you'll obviously try and get rid of those quicker. And I think that principle still applies in crypto. Like Bitcoin is hard money. Bitcoin is seen as the best form of cryptocurrency. And I think people are going to want, I think, that's what people are going to want to do. They're going to want to hodl it. They're going to want to spend things like stable coins, which are much more vulnerable to inflation. They're going to want to spend, there'll be other cryptos that come along. There already are payment, cryptocurrencies designed specifically for payments, like Litecoin's a good example. And Litecoin was designed to be literally the silver to Bitcoin's gold. And like I say, I think that narrative is going to stick. I think people are going to want to spend other coins. I think probably stable coins are what's
I agree with
that niche.
It's really, really interesting look because then it's about quality.
Yeah.
Right. And if you've got Bitcoin, ETH, and Litecoin or whatever coin, right? You'd rather spend ETH and Litecoin and just keep the Bitcoin. So you're always trying to keep the quality of your portfolio into the one that you believe in most. And this, like I said, it's into the branding because Bitcoin's here forever. It's back in the past. Don't know if it's going to be the number one currency in our generation, but I do think it's going to make a big, big shift because it already has at the moment. So,
yeah. Cool. Okay, one last question then from Rayaite. I haven't pronounced that right. Do you play any cryptocurrency-based game?
Oh no, I don't play any games. I don't have any. I'm sorry, I don't play any games because I don't have time for any games. My view, and I know this might be controversial, is I used to absolutely love games, and I used to be very, very good at them. I even made some money in them.
Wow,
but I had a flip and a switch, and I was like, if I can do that in a game, why don't I do it in real life? So life is a real game, and I just want to have a Lambo in real life, as opposed to a Lambo in a game. But that's my opinion. If you play games, it's absolutely fine. There are some really, really cool games because my best mates, they all play games.
Yeah.
Do you play any games?
I don't. I'm not really a gamer, but I would play a good blockchain-based game. And funnily enough, I have in the past few weeks, I have seen some examples of some. In fact, I was I saw an example of a great one, a first-person shooter called Shrapnel last night. Someone was showing that to me.
Oh, yeah.
And it looked amazing. Like it didn't, you know, that from what I could tell, and obviously I'm not a gamer, so I'm not, you know, a professional, if you like, but from what I could tell, it didn't look any different from a normal, like, sort of first-person shooter. And as I've said before, I think that is really important. I don't think gamers, and I don't want to put words in people's mouths, but I don't think gamers, people who play games, care or want to know if they're playing a blockchain game or not. They want to play an awesome game
and enjoy it.
And if it's on the blockchain and they can, you know, the loot boxes are NFTs and they can substitute that into another game, that's great. But if the gameplay isn't up to it, they won't play it, and it won't be worth, you know, it won't be worth the time. So yeah, but I would play a good game.
Just to add on to that as well, that, like, back then, there's so many games that you can trade and stuff. I think one thing, just to kind of add on, in the Web3 space was really cool. I did try a game during the lockdown period, and it was an NFT game, and it's because you can make money on it, and that's why I was attracted. You could do. It was the Axie Infinity.
Axie Infinity, yeah.
Yeah, and like Axie Infinity was really, really cool. People had jobs in the Philippines. Like, they were literally monthly salaries, breeding and doing different things. I remember working on that. So that kind of stuff is really cool. You can actually make a living from these games, playing games and making crypto money and earning a living. So it's a win-win scenario. But I think at the same time, just got to find what works for you.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting. I think it points to our potential future a lot as well. Yeah. Because like things like AI, you know, if AI has the impact that most people seem to believe it will, then that's going to end up doing an awful lot of work. And I think the thought is that as the years go by, us humans, certainly us more fortunate humans, are going to end up with a lot more free time and, you know, have to fill that in some way. And I can honestly see like good, well-constructed blockchain games that do have earning potential. You know, I can see play to earn becoming a thing because time is something that most people don't really have very much at the moment. And I think if we do have that and we need to fill that, and there's the way that we can earn by playing games, then I can definitely see it becoming a thing. But it's got a long way to go.
It was a win-win situation.
That would be it.
But thanks everybody for watching. Happy birthday once again, guys.
Thanks, man.
Remember to like, share and subscribe, and check out the deals page for Coin Bureau as well. Link in the description.
And check out Coin Bureau Trading because it's awesome.
That's it.
Link in the description.
Peace out.